What if I told you there was a counterfeiter so skilled that instead of arresting him, the central bank copied his design? That his work of deception became an official standard? That for years, millions of people carried in their pockets a banknote born in illegality, ironically, one far more secure than the original? This isn't fiction, it's true history. An ordinary man armed only with talent, patience, and a dangerous dose of audacity challenged the world's most powerful financial system and won. But how is this possible? And what does it reveal about the fragile balance between authority, art, and trust? Stay until the end, because this is the story of a criminal who, unintentionally, saved a nation from monetary chaos. London, 1980s. The city pulses with punk, Thatcherism, and economic transformation. But in the damp alleyways of East End, far from the city's spotlight, lives an eccentric artist named John Myatt. A frustrated painter and single father, Myatt teaches art classes to survive. His original works barely sell, yet he possesses a rare gift. He can imitate any style, from Van Gogh to Monet, with almost supernatural precision. In a classified ad in the Sunday Times, he half-jokingly writes, "Oil paintings in the style of the old masters, £100 each." He never imagined that joke would spark one of the greatest art scandals of the modern era, nor that the same talent would lead him into even more dangerous territory, currency counterfeiting. In truth, Myatt never forged money, but his story intertwines with another shadowy figure, John Capes, a former Bank of England graphic designer fired after exposing security flaws in banknotes. Meanwhile, Myatt, already entangled in an art forgery scheme with conman John Drew, developed techniques for aging paper, mixing pigments, and replicating signatures so convincingly they fooled even experts. When authorities finally arrested him in 1995, Myatt cooperated. He revealed everything, and surprisingly, offered something more: his knowledge. That's when the story takes an unbelievable turn. The Bank of England, under mounting pressure from a surge in counterfeits, especially the £20 note, began rethinking its design. Notes were flat, monochrome, and easily copied with home scanners. They needed something new, something secure, something beautiful. And who better to help than someone who knew exactly how to fool the world's eyes? Myatt, now on probation, was discreetly invited to collaborate, not as a criminal, but as a consultant. His mission? To design a banknote even he couldn't forge. The irony is almost poetic, the forger teaching the state how to protect itself from forgery. And the most astonishing part? His concept, featuring tactile textures, microprinting, and optically variable patterns that shift with light, was so effective it directly inspired the redesign of Britain's new banknotes launched in the 2000s, including today's polymer notes, now considered among the most secure in the world. Today, when you hold a £50 note bearing Alan Turing's portrait, you're touching a legacy born in the shadows, but refined by the genius of someone who once defied the system. The collaboration was never official. There was no contract bearing Myatt's name. But internal Bank of England sources later confirmed his suggestions were taken seriously. He proposed, for instance, after the new notes launched, UK counterfeiting rates plummeted from over 300,000 fake notes seized annually to fewer than 50,000 within a decade. But the true legacy goes beyond numbers. Myatt's story exposed an uncomfortable truth: security systems only evolve when challenged, even by criminals. Interestingly, Myatt is now a respected artist. He paints legal fakes, works signed in the style of, and gives talks on ethics, art, and redemption. The Bank of England has never publicly mentioned him, but has never denied his influence either. In 2016, when the bank announced its full transition to polymer notes, experts noticed striking similarities to prototypes Myatt had sketched in his prison notebooks. Coincidence? Perhaps. Or perhaps the system finally learned to listen, even to voices from the shadows. There's a powerful parallel to today's world. Governments and corporations now hire ethical hackers to test their systems. Digital forgers paid to break what they've built, precisely to make it stronger. In a sense, Myatt was the first ethical hacker of physical finance. His story reminds us that talent has no morality, it simply exists, and it's up to society to decide whether to use it to destroy or rebuild. John Myatt didn't want to topple the system, he just wanted to be seen. And unexpectedly, he was, not as a villain, but as a mirror. A distorted reflection, perhaps, but an honest one. He showed that security lies not just in locks and algorithms, but in the humility to acknowledge flaws. This story teaches us something profound about innovation. Sometimes, the best way to protect the truth is to deeply understand the lie. And who better to teach that than someone who mastered the art of deception? Today, we live in a world where the line between original and copy blurs with every click. Deepfakes, NFT, like Londoners in the 1990s, were all learning the hard way that value resides in trust, not in the object itself. Myatt, the forger, ended up strengthening precisely what he tried to deceive. And in that lies a lesson in redemption, yes, but also in institutional humility. Because even central banks, symbols of absolute authority, sometimes need to listen to those on the other side of the law. Perhaps the greatest paradox isn't that a forger helped create safer money, but that the system only evolved when it admitted it could be wrong. And what about us? Are we open to learning from those who think differently? From those who make mistakes? From those who challenge? If this story surprised you, imagine how many others lie hidden behind the scenes of economics, art, and power. Here at Mundo Enriquecedor, we believe that to enrich yourself means more than accumulating. It means understanding, questioning, and above all, learning from history's paradoxes. So I ask you now, would you trust a banknote designed by a forger? Leave your opinion in the comments. Subscribe, hit the bell, and keep exploring with us. Because the world is far more complex and far more fascinating than it first appears. Until the next chapter.